Okay, so now we're going to look at factorising questions. Again, these have been cropped and taken to a worksheet that's sitting on class notebook for you, but they're coming from page 300, question 7 and question 8. Okay. Alright, question 7. Start with question A. 3x plus 6. Okay, so especially for 8C, 8D had a really good lesson about this on Tuesday. 8C, this is possibly the first time you're looking at it, unless you've watched Mr. O'Connor's videos as well. But when we are factorising, it means to find the highest common factor between the two terms. Okay, so this is nothing but 3 times x. Okay, it can't be anything else when you break it down into its factors, the parts of it. Okay, now 6. We could think 1 times 6 is 6, or we could think 3 times 2 is 6. We choose 3 times 2 as our factors because our goal when factorising is to find a common factor, the highest common factor, between the two terms. Okay, once you've identified the highest common factor between the two terms, you simply put it outside the bracket, and then whatever is left over you put inside the bracket, x plus 2. Okay, that is the factorised version of 3x plus 6. The highest common factor is sitting outside the bracket. Okay, if you were then asked to expand it applying the distributive law, okay, you would go back to what we were doing earlier. So you can see that it's a continuous cycle of factorising, expanding, factorising, expanding. This is the this is the expanded version. We've been asked to factorise it. This is the factorised version. Okay, all right, let's look at one a little bit further along. We might go to E. E is 40 plus 4w. So we can see that the only two factors multiplied together for 4w are 4 times w. Alright, if you know your times tables, you'll know that 1 times 40 is 40, 2 times 20 is 40, etc. 5 eighths are 40. Okay, but you know that you're trying to find something common. So 4 would be our choice here, 4 times 10. Then we take our common factor of 4, sit it outside the brackets, and write whatever is left over inside the bracket. That's all factorising is. Breaking it down into its factors is step 1, and then locating the highest common factor is step 2. Put that outside the brackets, whatever's left over is inside the brackets. Questions 7 all look pretty similar in terms of they're no harder than those first two. So let's look at a couple out of question 8. Okay, question 8. A is 10 cn plus 12. Okay, so you can see that there's a lot more going on here. The numbers are a bit higher. There's a couple of variables. So this is where you might do a little bit of thinking. You've got 1 times 10. You've got 2 times 5. Okay, you might not need to do this thinking. You've got 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Alright, so 1 is always going to be common between two factors, but we don't want 1. We need to find the highest common factor. Okay, we know this is the highest here, but there's no 3 or 4 sitting up here, so we're going to choose our options with 2 in them. So this is going to turn into 2 times 5 to make up our 10, times c times n, plus 2 times 6 to make up our 12. The highest common factor is 2. It sits outside the bracket. What's left is 5cn plus 6. That's your factorised version of this. You might be able to squeeze one more down the bottom. Question 8. Let's look at K. Let's look at I. I think I did K with 8D. 21 HM. Take away 9 MX. Okay, 1 times 9 and 3 times 3 for 21. Okay, we've got 1 times 21 and 3 times 7. So factorising is going to challenge those people who may not be particularly strong with their times tables. So maybe writing your times tables down can help you visualise the highest common factor. Okay, so it's 3. So let's run with 21. Let's run with 21 equaling 3 times 7 times H times M. So we've broken this down into 3 times 7 times H times M. Take away. Alright, 3 times 3 times M times X. So we factorise these. We have a 3 in both sets, and we have an M in both brackets. So outside the brackets goes our 3M. Some people might like to cross those out. We've used them. They're sitting outside the bracket. 7H is left. Take away 3X. Okay, so then if you just applied the distributive law, right, you'd actually get back to the starting point. For those of us who are understanding the big picture, but as long as you can see the factorisation that's happening here, that's great. Okay, question 8, I might do 2 more. We'll go question J. Question J. Righto. 49U. Take away 21 BU. Okay, so we've got 7 times 7. We know we've got 1 times 49. We probably shouldn't be bothered writing that. Alright, here we've got 1 times 21 and 7 times 3. So we're going to break it down to 7 times U as our factors of this term. Take away 7 times 3 to get us 21 times B times U. Common factors: 7, 7, U, U. So 7U, 7U. That comes and sits outside the bracket. What is left is 7, take away 3B. Okay, I might actually leave it there because the rest of them don't seem any more complicated than those ones. Remember to come and see me in class if you still need some help. This is just to help you work at your own pace. The videos aren't because I don't want to talk to you. They're just to help you work faster if you find it easy. Have a look at things again and again if you need some clarification. But come and see me in class, please, if you need to. Thank you.